Imagine a world where fear and oppression ruled every aspect of life. This was the reality under Stalin's regime. But in 1953, a monumental shift began with the death of Joseph Stalin, marking the start of De-Stalinization. Nikita Khrushchev, a name synonymous with change, rose to power and initiated a series of political reforms. In 1956, Khrushchev delivered his famous secret speech, denouncing Stalin's cult of personality and his brutal political system. Monuments to Stalin were removed, his name erased from buildings, and even the state anthem was purged of his influence. Stalin's body was moved from the Lenin Mausoleum and buried, symbolizing the end of an era. The collective leadership that succeeded Stalin, including Georgy Malenkov and Lavrentiy Beria, began the initial reforms. However, it was Khrushchev who emerged as the most powerful Soviet politician, steering the country towards a new direction. De-Stalinization was never openly named during Khrushchev's era, but was referred to as overcoming the cult of personality. Before the secret speech, criticism of Stalin was kept behind closed doors, discussed only in private meetings. Lavrentiy Beria initiated the process of freeing Gulag prisoners, marking the end of large-scale forced labor in the economy. Beria's removal from power and subsequent execution in 1953 paved the way for Khrushchev's rise. A period of silent de-Stalinization followed, with political rehabilitations happening quietly and without public explanation. Anastas Mikoyan, a close ally of Khrushchev, played a significant role in the early de-Stalinization process. In 1954, Mikoyan called for the rehabilitation of poet Yegishey Cherents, a victim of Stalin's purges. Khrushchev proposed a commission to investigate Stalin's activities, revealing the extent of his brutal regime. The investigation found that out of nearly 2 million arrested for anti-Soviet activities, over 688,000 were executed. Khrushchev's secret speech shocked the world, exposing Stalin's crimes and the atmosphere of fear he created. The speech aimed to liberate party officials from the fear of repression and restore unity within the party. Some historians argue that Khrushchev's speech was also a strategic move to undermine his political opponents. The amnesty of 1953 and subsequent rehabilitation processes began the release of most prisoners from the Gulag. Former political prisoners faced hostility upon their return, struggling to reintegrate into normal life. In 1956, the CPSU declared the existence of the Gulag labor system inexpedient, leading to its eventual closure. Khrushchev made efforts to make the Gulag system less harsh, allowing prisoners to communicate with their families. Khrushchev also renamed many places and buildings that bore Stalin's name, erasing his legacy from public spaces. The state anthem of the Soviet Union was purged of references to Stalin, replaced by an instrumental version. The removal of Stalin monuments continued across the USSR and Eastern Bloc, symbolizing a break from the past. In 1961, Stalin's body was moved from Lenin's mausoleum, and Stalingrad was renamed Volgograd. Khrushchev's foreign policy aimed to show the world a different Soviet Union, more aligned with traditional socialist ideals. De-Stalinization marked a turning point in Soviet history, but the process was fragile and often met with resistance. The era of change, known as the Thaw, saw reforms take 2 steps forward and 1 step back. Join us as we explore the complex and transformative journey of de-Stalinization, a pivotal chapter in Soviet history.